This podcast is sponsored by Two Fat Lardies. Check them out at www.twofatlardies.co.uk and play the period, not the rules. This vidcast is sponsored by Coat Arms Paints, the #1 source for all your model painting needs. Check out their website for more details. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meeples and Miniatures Miniature Review Show with me, your host Neil Shook. On today's show we're going to be looking at a kit from Plastic Soldier Company. Now they've been producing a whole host of vehicles over the last few months. This one came out a couple of months ago now. It's the 15mm Allied Sherman M4A4 and Firefly kit. And this is definitely a variant of the Sherman that several people have been waiting for. Obviously we've already seen the M4A1 and the M4A2, and with the addition of the M4A4 and the Firefly, that will enable Allied commanders to complete a standard tank troop, especially for late war Europe. So here we take a quick look at the box art. As you can see, as per usual, some really nice box art from Plastic Soldier Company. And if you flip it over, there's also a painting guide on the back as well, which is all kind of fairly standard to what we're used to seeing with the Plastic Soldier Company these days. So let's take a look inside. What you actually get is 5 tanks in total, and that's 5 of the sprues. Now you can immediately see here that it's quite a busy sprue, there's a lot on it. You've actually got 2 different tank holes and 2 different tank turrets, and these actually relate to the 2 different variants of the tank. At the front of the sprue, as we look at it, there is the hole for the M4A4 and also the turret for the M4A4. You can tell the difference simply because the turret only has a single hatch, and also the hull has a place for a hull-mounted machine gun. That's actually not on the Firefly hull. So the Firefly hull is the one above it, with the turret with both the square and the round hatches in. Okay, as you can see, lots of other bits and pieces, several different gun mantles, some stuff that will, it'll become clear as we go and build the kit. Also includes some dust guards. Not quite sure whether these are actually used in practice. I think I don't know if this variant was actually used in the desert at all, whether these guards are actually fitted in Normandy, but they're there for completeness. Also, as you see, the standard tracks and chassis build is the same for both tanks. And you can see there's a few extra bits and pieces on the sprue as well, some extra pieces of track, a couple of buggy wheels and stuff like that, and they're actually quite nice to place on the hull. So let's take a look and see how these things make up. First off, we see M4A4 variant. This is fitted with a 75mm gun. Also has the 50 cal turret mounted machine gun. And then we have the Firefly variant. Obviously this is the one with the 17-pounder gun. So both of these kits pretty easy to put together. And we'll now take a detailed look and tour around each individual vehicle. So first off, starting with the M4A4, this is a side-on view, and we'll take a quick tour around the tank. As you can see, a few extra bits and pieces added onto this particular vehicle. There's an extra box added onto the back of the hull. Obviously, as you see, you've got the hull-mounted machine gun. There's some track you can put on the front plate of the Sherman. Obviously, there was very much a thing of putting spare track, buggy wheels, anything on front plates of Shermans, especially later in the war, to add effectively ablative armour. So there's a few bits off the kit that you can place on here. The kit actually I found quite easily put together. If you have been watching my Plastic Soldier Company reviews, you'll know I have issues with their tank tracks at times. Now, I don't know if I'm just getting used to them, but these are actually found pretty easy to put on. So again, as we carry on around the tank, obviously you can see a few clip points where I've taken the tank off the sprue. I'm sure that, these clean up a little bit, but I'm sure, once you put a coat of paint on, they'll just disappear. Some nice little bits of detailing on the hull, a couple of spades and a few bits and pieces. These can obviously be detailed in as we continue around. You'll note that, as I say, it's a very clean build, quite a clean lines looking, quite a nice looking tank from that side of things. Pretty easy to put together, to be honest. As I say, maybe I'm just getting used to these now. Okay, we'll go on to the Firefly, and as you see, immediately looking quite different. You'll notice a very different arrangement on the rear of the vehicle. Now, these are two separate boxes which glue on together. I'm not altogether convinced with the fit of them, but, on the whole, they're okay. Let's take a look around the vehicle. Obviously, the 17-pounder gun, different gun mantle and everything, very apparent. Tracks and stuff still the same, and essentially it's the same build. I'm kind of getting used to building Shermans now. I've built quite a few. Obviously, you'll notice the different hull, but essentially everything else goes together. The turret with the commander is quite easy to put together. You may have noticed that on the previous M4A4 with the closed turret, you've got to be a little bit careful about squeezing the doors in. They really are quite a tight fit, so you've got to be careful. And it's the same with this square door on the top here. For this turret, it just kind of rests in the hole. And the other thing you'll notice is that obviously there is a hole in this turret, as you can see, for an MG50. I don't believe Fireflies had MG50s. I mean, I'm open to correction on that, but an awful lot of the photo references I've seen don't have them mounted on the turret. So while the option is there to put them on, and I know a lot of kits do have them, whether they're actually there in practice is another matter entirely. And obviously if you don't want it, then that's a little hole that you'll need to fill. Other than that, very much similar sort of kit. And I was really impressed with these, it has to be said. The detail on the tank commander is okay, it's not 100% brilliant. It's perfectly serviceable for a good paint job, but the vehicles go together really well. And if you haven't got any Shermans already and you wanted to put together a late war British armour company, then it's an ideal box set to pick up, and then you can just build the M4A4s and also include one Firefly in a group of 4. You get 3 or 4 boxes and you're away. So price wise, looking at £17.50 for this particular kit. So that's 5 tanks in total, so it works out at £3.50 a tank, which, considering it's a nice, detailed, well built scale tank, I don't think you can complain at that at all. Certainly from options available and what have you, it's a really packed sprue, and this is really a nice kit from the Plastic Soldier Company, one of the better ones I think I've seen from them. Clean casting, good detail, whilst there are a couple of little bits of them which are a little bit fiddly to put together. On the whole, these are really nice kits and I'd highly recommend them. So that's the M4A4 Sherman and Firefly variant from the Plastic Soldier Company. Obviously these are available direct from the Plastic Soldier Company on their website, but they're now getting to a point where they're available from several major retailers, so you can obviously keep your eyes open for them. Well, I hope you found that review useful. Thanks for watching, take care, happy gaming, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Bye. This vidcast is sponsored by Caliver Books. More stuff for wargamers than anyone else on the planet. Check out their website for more details. This vidcast is sponsored by Wargame Soldiers and Strategy magazine. Check out their website at www.wssmagazine.com.